10 discoveries of Iran, also known in old times as Persia. 10. Sulfuric acid, also known as H2SO4. Zakaria Razi, 865–925 AD, a prominent Iranian scientist who first discovered sulfuric acid and alcohol. On one of the tests, he extracted sulfuric acid via dry distillation of minerals with iron sulfate and copper sulfate. Later, the European chemists did the same test after the translation of the script. This element is nowadays used in different applications, including drain cleaner, the electrolyte in lead-acid batteries, and in other clothing products. 9. Human rights. One of the best Iranian discoveries is the basic rights a human can have in society. You may have heard of the Cyrus cylinder, known as the world's first reference of human rights. The charter was first discovered in Babylon, recent Iraq, in 1879. After lots of archaeological research, they realized it belongs to Cyrus the Great, the Persian Achaemenid king. He defined his just ideas into a pack of rights and ordered to inscribe them in Akkadian cuneiform script over a clay cylinder in 534 BCE. Amazingly, it's even 1.5 millennium older than Magna Carta. Nowadays, the cylinder is kept and shown in London's British Museum.
This is a yachtshore, an ancient Persian refrigerator. Invented around 400 BC, it used a cooling system that kept ice frozen all year round. Yachtshores are found across Iran, in areas where the climate enables the freezing of ice on site in winter, or where ice and snow could be brought from nearby mountain areas. The ice is reported to have been used for the production and preservation of food and drinks in summer, and perhaps occasionally for cooling buildings. Yachtshore in Persian means ice pit, and it's an ancient type of evaporative cooler. Above ground, the structure has a dome shape with a large subterranean storage space. The use of thick, heat-resistant construction materials insulate the storage space year-round. Cold air is allowed to pour in from the entries at the base of the structure and descend to the lowest parts. At the same time, the tall conical shape of the building guides any remaining heat upward and outside, through openings at the very top of the building. Through this active process, the air inside the yachtshore remains cold enough to keep ice frozen in the scorching desert heat. The ice is made in a shallow pond, which is filled each night from a freshwater canal. A shading wall shields the pond from the heat of the low-angle winter sun. The water freezes during the cold winter nights. Ice is harvested from the pond and transferred into the yachtshore ice store. These types of yachtshores are reported to have been constructed from locally sourced adobe, containing sand, clay, egg white, goat hair, lemon juice, ash, and a water-resistant type of mortar called sarouj. In summer, some sources report that the domes were covered in a thick layer of straw thatch to insulate them from the heat of the sun. There are records and illustrations of their use recorded in history. And there are 129 remaining yachtshores today in Iran.
7. Bazaar. Bazaars in Iran have been shopping centers located near the gates of the city, congregational mosques, and the main squares. They connect different highways and make the places closer to each other. Bazaars used to be extended, and as they got larger, new atmospheres and constructions, including the mosques, workshops, traditional bathrooms, cafes, and other public places, arose. Specifying a place for all different shopping purposes is a new idea these days, while it first came through 4,000 years ago in Isfahan. Nakshe Jahan Square is the first business recreational center all over the world, and it's in a league of its own. 6. Guitar. or lute. There are different sayings about guitar history. Some people believe that the guitar originated from Egypt, some think the Romans took them to Spain, and others suppose that guitar has been inspired by Greek Assyrian chitara. However, the guitar system is the result of lute evolution. Lute is a wooden instrument that has strings pulled over it. Zariab Darabgari was the person who took lute to Andalusia, and since then it became popular in Spain and other parts of Europe. The word guitar is Persian and tar means string. Five. Polo. This game was first created in Persia in 600 BC, and Chogan is the Persian term for it. In other words, polo is the world's first team sport. It was actually a practice for reinforcing the army in the Achaemenid time, but became very popular in the Persian era. Due to the relationships with other countries and Persians' immigration, it turned into a world-known sport in the Sassanid time. In ancient Persia, Chogan had two types. One was without any horse for kids, and the other with horses for youngsters. The most important difference of polo in comparison to other historical sports like wrestling or foot race is it had its own rules since the beginning, and the challenge has been over the ball. Four. Qanat. Qanat is a Persian term for managing underground water. Qanat basically consists of an underground tunnel horizontally which connects to a mother well. There are also some vertical channels that conduct the water up the ground. It could be used for irrigation or other purposes. The system dates back to before Achaemenid's time. It was first innovated in Yazd. As the city is dry and located in the desert, locals created qanats to solve this problem. Nowadays, it's considered as one of the most significant Persian civilization discoveries. 3. Postal Service. It's one of the most important Persian civilization inventions. The Persian term for the first postal service was Chaparkhane. Cyrus the Great, Persian Achaemenid king, was the first person who created this facility. In fact, it was a way of communication through Persian territory. Later, Darius the Great, the next Achaemenid king, developed this system even more. He extended the post stations along 2,500 kilometers road all over the empire. The Chapars were considered people who used to ride the horses to get or deliver the postal items. 2. Algebra. The Persian ancient scholar Musa al-Khwarizmi lived between 750 and 850 AD in Baghdad. He was a mathematician, astronomer, and geographer during the Abbasi Caliphate time. Khwarizmi is well known because he invented some mathematical concepts and taught them as a distinct field of study called algebra. The words algebra or algorithm are derived from his name al-Khwarizmi. Without any doubt, algebra is one of the most significant Iranian discoveries. 1. Modern medicine methods. Ibn Sina was a Persian physician, astronomer, and philosopher of the Islamic Golden Age. His fame isn't limited to Iran, but he is world known. In Europe, people know him as Avicenna. Ibn Sina got lots of experience as a physician when he was only 18, so he started to record his most important works, including an encyclopedia of medicine, the Book of Healing, and the Canon of Medicine. These medicine methods were definitely the most amazing Iranian discoveries.